All right, March 5th, John Anderson on Coast to Coast. It's a very interesting topic that parents and just adults alike should all be interested in. Right now we are on the toxin sugar and how it affects the hormones in the body and the mental status of those who imbibe too much in the sugar.
They're feeding them sugar in there. I mean, even fruit juice. Keep in mind that fruit juice is just like a Coca-Cola. It's got 8 teaspoons of sugar in a glass of fruit juice.
See, why can't these doctors, John, first go natural? You know, get them off sugar, get them off white breads, get them off all the pasta, and get rid of all that first.
If you put them on a vegan diet even, you know, or even with meat, just get them off the junk food. Like I mentioned before, for people to realize almost every packaged food, whether it's in Whole Foods or not Whole Foods, it's got these processed carbohydrates in it. And when you have a mental imbalance, it only makes it worse. Now, if everything's going fine, you can indulge a little bit in it. So I'm not an extreme purist, but I know if I'm stressed, I have to stay away from that stuff.
Indeed. Next up, we go to Naomi in Fullerton, California.
Moderation.
Go ahead, Naomi. Thanks for holding.
The people who know me know that.
Yeah, I found it never get through. Hi, George. Hi, Dr. Gray. Dr. Gray, I'm willing to relocate, or is there a website I can contact you? I'll be the same as you, George, age in June.
Don't tell anybody.
And I'll start Social Security.
Are you 40 years old, did you say?
Thanks, John.
No, my mother said you have the two numbers together after you hit 40. So that I'll be 8. Anyway, but you say I'm not qualified for Medicare. And I was diagnosed with gastroparesis, autonomic neuropathy, and a few months ago they found an adrenaline gland cyst. And unfortunately, the endocrinologist was a jerk. Now I have to find a new endocrinologist, and my hormone levels are all out of whack.
Well, let me stop you here, because this is out of my territory of expertise. But when you get the hormones, though, what I know is that more and more we're shifting from drugs, which people are wising up that all drugs are prescribed because they have dangerous side effects, and one leads to another. Now the new miracle drug is giving people hormones. And I want to mention that never in history have human beings taken hormones. And even when they say they're giving you bioidentical natural hormones, there's no such thing. They look like natural, they're made from natural, but the process that makes them is nothing seen in nature. So you're really running into a huge process to convert potatoes, yams into these hormones that they're giving people. And they're putting it in creams, and when it goes into the creams, it goes straight into the bloodstream, and the side effect of this is your body immediately stops making hormones.
Oh,
so
awesome.
Yes, if you get the perfect doctor and the perfect amount for that year or so, that month, your symptoms can go away, but then you've just basically sent the message to your brain to stop making hormones.
John, I'm seeing a trend here. The trend is overprescribing, underprescribing, not understanding the patient. There's something wrong here, isn't there?
It's really not understanding health. That's what it is. We're in a system of disease. Doctors are taught to identify diseases, look up in a book what drugs would treat that disease. That disease then produces side effects. Now what drug will treat that side effect? And then that drug has a side effect. And it's just a matter of accumulating those drugs. I mean, what's interesting, George, I can't be too judgmental about it, because if you go to my house, you'll see there's probably about 20 different bottles of different supplements.
That's like mine.
Yeah, but at least they're natural, and at least I understand why I'm taking them. I emphasize for people, I ask people with drugs, what's in that drug? They don't know, but at least, if I say grape seed extract, it comes from the seed of a grape, and that doesn't seem so bad for you, and there's no possible side effect. That's the great thing about the natural food supplements, is that they don't have side effects. And, people will take ephedra. One person dies from ephedra overdose, they suspect, and they take it off the market. Ephedra, which has been great for allergies and asthma, been used for thousands of years, And they legalized ephedrine, which they put in over-the-counter allergy medicines, which is just chemical ephedra. So this is the drug industry. What they want to do is anything possible to make these natural substances illegal, because they want to have everybody taking their drugs, and it's just a system of complete dependence.
Well, let's go to Vancouver, Canada. Candy's with us on Coast to Coast on the international line. Candy, go ahead.
Let them know
Hi,
we don't
George
want to
and
take
John.
supplements off the market.
Another program I love, George.
Perfect.
Well, I just want to say I have an extreme schedule, and I tend to surprise myself on a daily basis in a good way with a sense of well-being. I take yerba mate tea, Gayaki yerba mate, which is the traditional, and it seems to just create this tremendous just a sense of well-being that I get.
I'm a huge fan of herbal mate, and just for people that might want to investigate increasing their dopamine levels, their focus level, without having to do caffeine, mate is a much milder form. Matine. It's not actually caffeine, but it's matine. So I think it's a great supplement. My wife loves it. We drink it together in the morning.
Nice.
Fabulous. Thank you.
Thank you for letting people know about that.
A lot of people are basically investigating their own health situation, aren't they now? They're going on the internet, they're reading books like yours.
Yes, and they're doing that investigation. You know, the internet can have misleading information, but it also has really good information, and it's a matter of us educating ourselves. But I really would not recommend someone to go to a doctor to be healthy. You go to a doctor ideally when you have extreme disease, and then it's a medical emergency, and they're marvelous for that. They're trained for that. You know, this is, you break a leg, thank goodness there's doctors. You know, some extreme case, you're in childbirth and you need a cesarean, that's fantastic. But then what becomes an emergency becomes normal practice. Suddenly now there's so many more cesareans. You know, when there's a drug they give mothers to make the baby come out sooner. It's called Pitocin. In some hospitals, 90% of children are born with induced labor rather than being a natural labor. And one study of 300 children with ADD, ADHD, 80% of them were induced babies. You know, there's a pressure that contractions are more intense. Everything, you know, you get these medical drugs and doctors are only taught to treat, you know, disease. They're not taught how to make health, how to create health. And when I say doctors, I'm only talking about 80% of them. 20%, you know, naturopathic doctors, alternative doctors, they're actually studying health. And that's what we all need to do, is learn how to keep our bodies healthy.
Super. John, we're out of time. Good luck to you. The book From Boyhood to Manhood. Just go to John's website because he's got a number of speaking engagements. If you're going to be in Scandinavia, as a matter of fact, or in Denmark,
he's huge
or
in Denmark,
in Milan, Italy, he'll be out there to be sure.
All right.
I'm going to be back in just a moment on Coast to Coast AM as we talk about the Harbinger. Get ready for that with Jonathan Kahn, an incredible story about America's future. And you can email me at george@coasttocoastam.com anytime you want.
Do you want to know about the future? Then you're going to have to tune in to the next episode, which will be episode 8 of the March 5th edition of my video Life at 55, or where I am now, Life at 15. Benjamin Buttons. I keep going the wrong way, or the opposite way. I'm getting younger. I'm getting more flexible, I'm getting more hydrated, I'm getting more muscle coming back from the coma. And now I start life at 55 on the highway and eventually end up at life at 15 on the streets that I must paint, as Michelangelo does. I paint. Alright, 6 things, breathing tricks they do think. We're going to be hearing about possible futures. Nothing's written in stone, though, people. The only thing written in stone is the past. You learn from your lessons of the past. Hopefully, don't make those mistakes again, because those situations will present themselves again, so that if you did make a mistake, you can now correct it and make the right choice. So don't beat yourself up about mistakes that you've made. Just learn from them. Learn, and don't make them again. So enjoy every day. Live every day, because you never know when it comes to an end. So this guy's going to tell you a lot of scary stuff in the next episode, I'm sure. about EMPs, which can happen, and solar flares and CMEs, and everything can stop, and you can never see this again because power is out. But you can also know that, as I was just coming home from work and it was almost all over. So you never know when it's coming. But it's coming for all of us eventually. So what's there to be afraid of? It's happening. It's happening. We know that it happens. We're in mortal bodies. We are not mortal. We are immortals. We are gods in mortal bodies. I am everything, and everything is everything. This is very Matrix-like. That's what string theory and quantum physics is all about. Everything is connected through vibration and water and all the molecules. We are all connected, and we are all everything. All right? So treat your neighbor the way you want to be treated, because you are them. They are you. And the better you treat yourself, the better you feel going forward. All right? So remember, the future is not written. If you do hear this next segment, we have the power to change it. We have the largest electromagnetic generator in the known universe. It's called our hearts. It puts out a field. It strengthens the magnetosphere, protecting us from such things coming from outer space. We can protect ourselves. So drink your water and live your life and be full of joy and stress nothing. And maybe take some lithium orate if you're on things and feel better, and then get off those crappy chemicals you're on. And Martine tea. That's what we learned in this segment. All right, I love you guys. Have a great day. Living now. Livinow. See ya.